God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved child, listen to me with the full attention of your spirit, for nothing you are living through now happens by accident. Every detail of this moment was shaped in my heart before your first days ever existed. I tell you with eternal love that the pressures surrounding you are not signs of failure but divine tools revealing who you truly are. What seems like delay is alignment, what feels like rejection is protection, and what appears to be loss is preparation. I am refining areas within you that you didn't even know needed healing, removing old weights, dissolving internal confusion, and illuminating paths that were once hidden. Do you feel ready for a deep transformation in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and the blessings I have already set apart for you. A simple 1-minute prayer can ignite a spiritual journey that transforms the inner world and reflects upon the outer one. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, both spiritual and material, click the link in the first comment. There you will find a simple, love-guided practice that will help you connect more deeply with my presence in your life. My Holy Spirit is now working in the deepest layers of your being, healing silent wounds, restoring the clarity of your vision, and reigniting dreams you believed were asleep. Do not fear the process, for every breath you take is embraced by my presence. Remember what is written, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness but will have the light of life. John chapter 8 verse 12. Just as light repels all shadows, my voice silences every doubt. This is your new season, marked by renewal, direction, and hope. I am with you, resurrecting what you thought was lost and leading you firmly toward the destiny I prepared for you. My child, this process you have been living is not to destroy you, but to refine you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what I called you to carry long before you understood who you were in me. I know you have felt the weight on your shoulders, the exhaustion of waiting, the restlessness of silent days that seem endless. But understand this truth, silence is not absence, it is construction. In the silence, I remove excess, correct your course, heal your soul, and mold your spirit. Many times I allow you to feel cornered not to watch you suffer, but so that you finally recognize that I have always been the way out, the strength, the path, and the sustenance. Even when your strength fails, mine stands firm. You have no idea of the magnitude of what I am aligning behind the scenes of your journey. I am moving circumstances you cannot see, shifting hearts that seemed closed, breaking bonds that imprisoned you emotionally and spiritually. I am opening doors no one can close and closing paths that would divert you from purpose. The transformation I prepare will not be small, it will be so profound that even your breath will notice the new season approaching. Comment, my faith is being strengthened by God's move. My dear child, I tell you with eternal truth, behold, I make all things new. Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. And this newness does not begin around you, it begins within you, in the place only I can touch. I am rebuilding you completely, reorganizing thoughts that confused you, restoring the sharpness of your spiritual vision, removing the ashes that kept you from seeing the brilliance of the purpose I placed in you. I know how many times doubt whispered that I had forgotten you, how many times you cried in silence believing my promises were fading. But I affirm with divine authority, none of my words return empty, and none of my promises to you have been cancelled. Every seed I planted in your spirit is alive, germinating in the unseen, rising in the invisible, preparing to break through the soil of your reality. You were marked by eternity to live the extraordinary, and I will not allow fear, confusion, or pain to steal what is yours by spiritual inheritance. My Holy Spirit now breathes a new fire into you, a sharp discernment that exposes illusions and returns you to the original path. Stay firm, my child, the harvest I prepared for you will be abundant. Comment, I believe God is making all things new. My child, there is a strengthening happening within you that you are not fully aware of. What once paralyzed you no longer has power over you. You have resisted, you have persevered, you have prayed even when exhausted, and none of this went unnoticed by my eyes. Every tear you shed has become the raw material for the miracle I am forming inside and around you. Every moment you chose to trust, even without understanding, lifted you spiritually to a level where the maturity of your spirit now shines with clarity. I am leading you to a place where the opinions of others will no longer wound you, where your sensitivity will become your strength, where your pain will turn into the spiritual authority that brings healing to others. This is the time when I lift you not merely to survive, but to flourish. Breathe deeply, my child, because what once appeared chaotic is now being divinely organized to place you precisely at the center of the promise. The storm that tried to break you was used to strengthen you, and now you are beginning to experience the power of the transformation I worked within you. Comment, I am flourishing in God's timing. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. My beloved, hold this truth deep within your heart. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27 verse 1. The enemy tried to cast shadows over your mind, to confuse your faith, to persuade you to give up at the very moment you were closest to your breakthrough. But I say to you, no work of darkness can prosper against someone who is under my shadow and my direction. You faced battles that many could not withstand, yet I kept you standing even when you thought you would fall. And now, because you endured, I am releasing over your life an anointing of courage, clarity, and stability that will transform your journey. The oppression that followed you for so long is being broken this very moment. The guilt that chased you, the weight on your shoulders, the thoughts that drained your peace, everything is falling to the ground through my light rising upon you. You are entering a time of revelation so strong that even you will be surprised by the freedom you will feel. The light I place before your steps will drive out all fear and reveal paths that were once invisible. Comment, the Lord is my light, my strength, and my protection. My child, this is the season in which I teach you to trust not in what your natural eyes perceive, but in what I have spoken over you since the beginning. Many lose their miracle because they expect visible signs before they obey, but you have continued forward even when the entire path was hidden from you. That is faith, and I honor faith. The spiritual harvest I have prepared requires emotional maturity and inner depth, so I allowed you to walk through experiences that pushed you into the depths of yourself. Do not fear discomfort, it was the doorway into your transformation. I broke down walls inside you, opened internal rooms where old fears were still hiding, healed memories that clouded your vision, and removed from your soul everything that did not align with the destiny I wrote for you. Now you are lighter, clearer, and more aligned with my presence within you. Declare, I am maturing in the presence of God. Beloved child, remember what is written, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31. And this is exactly what I am doing with you, renewing your strength from the inside out. What once felt like spiritual exhaustion is now transforming into holy vigor. What looked like loss is turning into divine strategy. What seemed like delay is revealing itself as protection. I, the Lord, have placed angels around you to guard you from the emotional fatigue that tried to drain your purpose. I am removing people who weakened your faith and bringing close those who will help you rise into your calling. When I lift you, nothing can bring you down. When I call you, no opposition can silence your answer. The hardest phase of your battle is ending, and the victory I will place in your hands will be so clear that even those who doubted will recognize my hand upon your life. Declare, I am renewing my strength in the Lord. My precious child, now I lead you into a dimension where your spiritual sensitivity becomes your greatest treasure. I shaped you to feel deeply because you were chosen to carry profound revelation. Your pain taught you to discern what is true, to separate what is mine from what is false, to perceive spiritual shifts long before they appear in the natural world. Your soul, once fragile, now carries authority. I gave you the ability to hear my voice even in noise, to receive signals others overlook, to see directions few can recognize. This is not a flaw, it is a divine gift. Use your sensitivity not as a wound but as a compass. It will guide you to the harvest I prepared, to the opportunities that were hidden, to the relationships designed to strengthen your mission. Declare, I am learning to discern the voice of God. My beloved, keep this promise alive within your soul. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, yes, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10. Now is your turning point. The time when what was stuck begins to flow. The season in which doors locked for years open with ease. The chapter where your story shifts from long waiting to divine fulfillment. Heaven is moving on your behalf, my child. I am releasing provision where there was lack, clarity where there was confusion, answers where silence once prevailed. You will witness restoration in areas you believed were gone forever. You will see healing in inner places that felt shattered. You will receive honor where shame once lived. This is the time of my faithfulness wrapping itself around you. Declare, I am upheld by the righteous right hand of God. I speak over you now, nothing will remain as it was. The old season has ended. Battles that followed you for years have lost their power. The weight you carried has dissolved. Now begins the season of flow, of open doors, of complete restoration. I am pouring into you a confidence that is not emotional but spiritual. A strength that does not come from effort but from my presence. A vision not shaped by circumstances but by my eternal promise. You are mine, chosen, marked, established by eternity. Walk without fear, for I am with you. Walk without doubt, for my word cannot fail. Walk with your heart open, for great revelation is coming. And when you look back, you will understand that every pain, every delay, every silence, every struggle prepared you for the time that begins now. Declare, I receive the new season God has prepared for me. My beloved child, listen with the depth of your spirit, for what I am speaking goes beyond the edges of your tiredness and reaches the hidden places where you have fought silently. I know how heavy your weariness has become, how many times you have stood on the edge of surrender, whispering to yourself that perhaps you were asking for too much or hoping beyond what was reasonable. Yet I draw you again to this moment because it is sacred. It is not random, nor is it shaped by chance or coincidence. You are standing in a threshold season, a moment where what is invisible presses close to becoming visible. This is why you feel the inner tension, the subtle pressure, the trembling sense of something about to shift. You are not imagining it. What stirs inside you is the echo of what has already been set into motion in realms beyond your eyes. I am the one who placed this stirring within you, and I call you now to lift your attention above the noise that seeks to distract you. You have carried burdens, fought unseen battles, and waited with a loyalty that few would understand, and because of that, the victory approaching you holds weight, depth, and lasting purpose. But understand this deeply, my beloved, it is precisely when you are closest to stepping into fulfillment that the opposing influence intensifies its efforts. Not because it can stop what I have ordained, nothing can stop what I have spoken over your life, but because it hopes to disrupt your focus long enough to cause you to withdraw from your place of endurance. The adversary uses subtlety, not just obvious attacks. He whispers confusion, amplifies small fears, magnifies minor inconveniences, and tries to fill your internal space with 1,000 unnecessary thoughts. He desires to shift your attention from the sacred to the temporary, from the eternal to the trivial, from my voice to the surrounding noise. But you must not allow these passing distractions to diminish the strength you have built through persistence. You have traveled a long way, carried faith through seasons where nothing moved, held on through nights when silence felt unbearable. To lose your focus now would be like abandoning years of faithful waiting just moments before the doors open. So I speak to you with tender authority, protect the clarity I am giving you. Guard the vision I placed inside you. Keep your inner gaze fixed on the direction I have already shown. This is not the time to explain yourself to others, to seek their approval, or to doubt the path simply because not everyone understands it. My child, if your attention becomes consumed by fear, noise, or discouragement, you may overlook the subtle guidance I am releasing into your spirit. My leading is often gentle, a whisper, a stirring, a quiet assurance that settles inside you. But if your heart is overwhelmed with distractions, you may miss the very direction that carries you into the fulfillment you have been praying for. Do not let hopelessness take root, for hopelessness blinds the soul and makes you believe that delay means denial. The truth is this: what you feel now is not the fading of hope but the rising intensity that comes right before manifestation. You have sensed unusual restlessness because the spiritual atmosphere around you has shifted. You have felt emotional pressure because the season you are entering carries weight. You have questioned your progress because the moment you are approaching is unlike anything you have known. Stay near me now. Draw your focus inward, reduce distractions, and allow my voice to settle the turbulence trying to unsettle your spirit. The fulfillment you long for is not distant, it is approaching, and your awareness of this shift is the sign that what was once hidden is coming into reality. And know this, the one who opposes you senses it as well. He recognizes the signs of breakthrough even before you do, which is why he tries to convince you that what you feel is merely emotional, temporary, or coincidental. But I tell you with certainty, this is not just a feeling. What stirs within you is the spiritual imprint of an appointed time drawing near. I do not give empty signals, nor do I stir your spirit without purpose. The timing I have prepared is sacred, unique, and cannot be repeated. Do not assume that opportunities are limitless. The particular doorway opening before you is one I crafted specifically for your journey, shaped by every prayer, every act of faithfulness, every moment you chose not to quit. Many miss their moment not because they lack desire but because they hesitate, postpone, or question just when they should respond. But you, my beloved, must not repeat their mistakes. You have prayed too long, believed too deeply, endured too faithfully to let hesitation rob you of what is rightfully yours. Keep your heart steadfast, for the window before you will not remain open forever. What is approaching is aligned perfectly for your growth, your calling, your restoration, your expansion. I am calling to you with intention in this very hour because your access is now. Everything I have prepared for you is converging into this specific moment. Do not let weariness distort your perception. Do not allow the uncertainty of others to weaken your faith. My promise is firm, and my commitments do not dissolve under pressure or delay. I do not abandon what I begin, and I do not change my mind simply because the journey has taken longer than expected. Yes, challenges will still appear, but challenges do not indicate the absence of my presence, they reveal the depth of what I am preparing you to carry. Do not fear the quiet pauses, for even in silence, I am working. Do not fear those who cannot comprehend your process, for what I am doing in you is not meant for the validation of others. Keep your spirit anchored in the truth I have spoken. I will sustain you. I will uphold you. I will complete what I started. My child, your future is not fragile, it is fortified by my promise. Declare this truth boldly, not to convince yourself, but to awaken the power I have placed within you. Speak with intention. When you affirm what I have revealed, you are aligning your spirit with the reality I have already prepared. You are acknowledging that your focus belongs in my presence, not in the fears that try to steal your attention. When you speak faith, you break the influence of every lie that whispers you are not ready, not capable, or not worthy. This declaration is not a ritual, it is the living expression of your trust. It is your way of saying, I will not turn away. I will not miss what is mine. I choose to stand firm. And as you declare it, strength begins to rise within you. Clarity becomes sharper. Peace settles where fear once lived. You begin to sense the unfolding of a greater reality, that your life is shifting, your atmosphere is changing, your purpose is awakening, and nothing can undo what has been set in motion. You are marking yourself as ready, available, and aligned with the moment I designed for you since the beginning. Therefore, my precious child, stay alert. Stay deeply aware of what is happening within you. Do not treat this season casually. There are moments in life that shape an entire future, and you are in the midst of one now. Protect your heart. Guard your ears. Be mindful of what you allow into your spirit. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion carries truth. Anchor your focus on what I am whispering to your soul, for my words are life and clarity to you. Your reward is certain. It is not a possibility but a destined reality. I have already set in motion everything required for your blessing, your restoration, your elevation, and your peace. The steps before you are guided by my hand. The opportunities forming around you are not random, they were crafted with precision. Your victory is closer than your doubts want you to believe. You did not arrive here by accident. You were led, shaped, refined, and prepared for this very point in time. And now I speak this final truth into the depths of your being. I am the one who brought you into existence, and nothing concerning your life escapes my sight. I prepared this moment long before you understood its meaning. I chose this exact season to awaken you, to align you, to draw you closer to the purpose that has been waiting for you. The longing you feel is not imagination, it is spiritual recognition. Your soul knows something is unfolding. The burdens you released in silence were not ignored. The tears you cried without witnesses were seen. The prayers you whispered in hidden places were received. Every detail has been woven into a divine tapestry that is now revealing its pattern. I do not forget your faithfulness. I do not disregard your sacrifice. I do not fail in what I promise. So keep your senses sharp. Stay attentive. Expect something greater than what you have imagined, because what I am bringing into your life will mark a turning point so undeniable that even those who doubted will stand in awe. You are stepping into a season of fulfillment, of clarity, of divine completion. And I, your eternal guide, will walk each step with you, until the promise is not only seen but lived in its fullness. There are moments in life when a person reaches a threshold so delicate that even a single breath seems capable of shifting the entire direction of their journey. You have stood in that place many times, feeling the weight of exhaustion pressing against your resolve, wondering whether the struggle still holds purpose. The tension between surrender and persistence has touched you more deeply than anyone around you realizes. Yet within those quiet internal battles, an unseen assurance has continued to follow you, guiding, steadying, and reminding you that weariness is not a sign of defeat but evidence of how far you have come. All the paths that once closed in front of you were not meant to declare your failure, but to redirect you into something more aligned, more intentional, more true to the essence of who you are. Everything that fell apart was shaping a clearing for something lasting to rise. And even now, as distractions attempt to pull your attention away from what truly matters, the call for focus grows louder, urging you not to lose sight of the turning point forming right before you. You have walked through seasons where opportunities evaporated, where connections dissolved, and where the pace of life felt too overwhelming for your heart to keep up. Each of those moments carried the subtle message that your journey was being carefully pruned, clearing away what could not sustain your future. The things you once begged to keep were removed not to punish you, but to preserve you. The detours you resisted became the way forward. And now, as new paths begin to open, paths crafted with stability and purpose, you are being asked to stay awake, to remain sensitive to the signs unfolding around you. Weariness may try to blur your vision, but you do not stand in the same place you once stood. You now recognize that the heaviness you feel is not a warning to stop but the final resistance before breakthrough emerges. Life has a way of presenting its greatest distractions at the edge of transformation, as if testing whether your heart can remain anchored long enough for the change to take root. There were times when confusion clouded your understanding so intensely that even the idea of clarity felt unreachable. You tried to analyze every detail, attempting to decode meanings, expecting to make sense of what you were experiencing. But not every unfolding truth is meant to be dissected. some are meant simply to be trusted. The forces moving beneath your circumstances extend far beyond what you can see or comprehend. You have stood in silence believing nothing was happening, yet everything was shifting. You have stepped into nights overwhelmed by your own thoughts, unaware that each quiet hour was drawing you closer to the moment already prepared for your growth. You looked at blocked paths and assumed you were failing, when in reality you were being protected from roads that would have drained your spirit. You faced delays and believed you were forgotten, when in truth precise timing was being carved out for you. Now that the air begins to change around you and a new certainty stirs within, you are being urged to trust the timing you once questioned. There is a quiet strength within you that has survived storms many others would not endure. Even the nights when despair pressed hardest against your chest, you still rose, even if slowly, even if trembling. Those moments shaped you more than the victories anyone else can see. Your tears carried messages far deeper than words ever could. The silent hours when you felt misunderstood, unseen, or unheard have woven a resilience into your spirit that no adversity can erase. The heaviness you thought would break you became the very substance that strengthened you. And though you may not have realized it, every sigh, every moment of holding on when your strength felt empty, every step you took without clarity, all of it built a foundation capable of supporting what is approaching. What you felt was the end of your endurance was, in truth, the beginning of a new capacity forming within you. The moment now unfolding is not random. It is not a fleeting rush of emotion or a fragile hope easily scattered by doubt. It is the solid beginning of a season that has been forming beneath the surface for much longer than you knew. Many people dismiss such internal shifts, convincing themselves that certainty without evidence must be imagination. But you feel something deeper, something unmistakably real. What rises within you now is the recognition of alignment, a sensation that events, opportunities, and revelations are no longer scattered but converging. Life is inviting you into a new chapter, one that will not resemble the uncertainty of your past but will carry the weight of promise fulfilled. There will be people who question it. There will be voices that cast doubt on what you feel. Yet none of them will have the capacity to understand the depth of what is awakening inside you. What is forming is meant for you, and its truth will reveal itself in ways that cannot be dismissed. Your past seasons of waiting were not idle pauses, they were active preparation. Every time you held on, even when clarity escaped you, you were aligning yourself with a future that required greater strength, greater sensitivity, and greater resilience. When discouragement whispered that you had been forgotten, you kept moving. When silence made you believe nothing was changing, you remained open. When doors closed without explanation, you refused to let bitterness take root. These choices, small and quiet though they seemed, have shaped your present moment. You are now standing at the meeting point between everything you have endured and everything you are ready to receive. What once felt like endless delay now reveals itself as perfect timing. And when the evidence of this timing becomes undeniable, you will see that not a single moment of perseverance was wasted. You may remember nights when you sat alone, convinced no one truly understood the depth of your struggle. Times when even forming words felt impossible, and the only expression your soul could release was a quiet sigh that carried the weight of your pain. In those hours, you believed you were unseen. You believed your suffering was silent. But those moments were not lost, forgotten, or overlooked. They became the turning points within you, points where your strength stretched beyond what you thought possible. Even when you felt abandoned, something held you together. Even when the heaviness felt unbearable, something lifted you just enough to keep going. That unseen support is the reason you are still standing now, preparing to step into what once felt unreachable. The very moments you thought would break you became the proof of how deeply you are supported, even when you cannot perceive it. And now you stand at the threshold of a profound shift, a moment where your past, present, and emerging future meet. The experiences that shaped you, the tears that softened you, the resilience that strengthened you, and the clarity now rising within you are converging into a new understanding. This is not an ending but an opening. Not a closing chapter but the doorway to a new one. Life is inviting you to step forward with attentive eyes and a steady spirit. The timing is intentional. The alignment is real. What you feel within is not delusion, it is direction. And as you step into this unfolding season, your role is simple: remain open, remain aware, remain receptive. Affirm your presence in your own journey. Honor the depth of what you have endured. Choose to embrace what rises before you. For everything that once felt unbearable has brought you to a place where transformation is not only possible, it is inevitable. You are not at the edge of collapse, you are at the edge of becoming. There are seasons in a person's life when exhaustion becomes so deep that even morning light feels too heavy to face. You have walked through nights when your strength disappeared before dawn, when sleep refused to reach you, and your mind kept running in circles without offering relief. Fear would rise in your chest silently, gripping your thoughts, tightening around your spirit. Yet somehow, you still made it through. You rose again, even when your legs trembled beneath the weight of everything overwhelming you. What you didn't realize then was that every moment you felt you were about to break was met with an unseen resilience forming quietly inside you. Every tear that fell carried a piece of your determination, even if you didn't feel determined at all. Your struggle was never meaningless. What felt like chaos within you was shaping a depth that surface peace could never create. This strength, forged in silence, became the quiet force that kept holding your inner world together when everything else felt scattered. Your nights were long, your fears loud, your spirit stretched thin, but not once were you abandoned to collapse without the support that kept you going when nothing made sense. Not everyone around you understood the battle happening behind your calm appearance. Many saw your smile and assumed everything was well. They didn't see the weight behind your eyes or the tension hidden beneath your breaths. You carried your pain with a grace that fooled even those closest to you. Yet deep inside, there were moments when your heart ached so intensely that even pretending felt impossible. You wanted peace more than anything, peace from the racing thoughts, peace from the heaviness that clung to your chest, peace from the silent strain of holding yourself together. And though no one around you could fully grasp what you endured, your struggle was not invisible. Every time you tried to speak but couldn't find the right words, every time you held tears behind your eyelids until you were finally alone, every time you forced yourself to keep going when your spirit begged for rest, these moments became the hidden proof of your resilience. They show how deeply you fought to stay grounded, even when you felt like fading. Your perseverance in silence held a richness that few will ever fully understand, and it marked you with a strength that only comes from surviving what others never witnessed. The nights when you felt most alone, convinced no one truly saw your hurt, were the same nights when transformation worked quietly within you. While you believed yourself forgotten, your tears were not ignored. They carried purpose you could not yet perceive. The weight you felt was not wasted, the sorrow you hid was not dismissed. Each sleepless hour taught you something about your endurance. Every restless thought, every moment you feared you had nothing left, was shaping you into someone capable of standing stronger than before. Your pain carved out space inside you that would later be filled with clarity, steadiness, and a deeper understanding of your own worth. Your long nights were not evidence of weakness, they were evidence of depth. When you thought stillness meant abandonment, it was actually the space where rebuilding quietly took place. While you saw silence as emptiness, it was the environment where your spirit was held together, where the shattered pieces inside you were being rearranged into something stronger. You survived these nights not because you had unending strength, but because even in your lowest moments, the core of who you are refused to disappear. Every tear you shed held significance far beyond what you imagined. You may think of them as moments of breaking, but they were moments of release, tiny pieces of your pain finding a way out so they wouldn't remain trapped inside you. You didn't shatter. You didn't fail. You didn't fall apart beyond repair. You lived through what felt unbearable and, even without realizing it, you kept choosing to rise. Each quiet decision to keep moving, each moment of wiping your face and continuing forward, each breath you took even when your chest felt tight, these simple acts held immense power. Your vulnerability was not a sign of inadequacy. It was proof that you were human, proof that you were feeling deeply, and proof that you were strong enough to confront what many run away from. You stood in your truth even when that truth was painful. You faced your fears even when they shook you. And in doing so, you preserved your sense of self. Without realizing it, you built a foundation capable of holding your future. Your tears weren't trivial, they were meaningful. They became the groundwork of the courage now rising quietly within